The uncertainties in life are so uncertain for us to determine the kind of woe we shall be entangled in the future. When you stay dormant, your life is at risk. When you dare to take a step, you take a step to take a risk. We have a choice. Yes, a choice to choose to dare to get to our real reasons on earth, or to choose to live in mediocrity and conformity. But we ought to note that it is riskier to risk nothing when the life we live is always at risk. In 1848, the first Women's Rights Convention is held in Seneca Falls, New York. With almost 200 women as well as 40 men in attendance, the Declaration of Sentiments was signed, officially setting the agenda for 12 revolutions calling for equal treatment of men and women. In 1893, Colorado is the first state allowing women the right to vote, and in 1920, the 19th Amendment is added to the Constitution, granting all women the right to vote. In 1934, Hattie Wyatt Caraway became the first woman elected into the U.S. Senate. In 1944, during the height of World War II, women controlled the workforce with over 19 million women with workplace jobs. To this day, women are still fighting for equal rights as men. Just this past February, women being allowed into any part of the armed forces was finalized. If it wasn't for women such as Jane Addams, Susan B. Anthony, Lucy Burns, and Zelda Kinghoff-Nordlinger, going against all strongly held traditions, we wouldn't have the equality we have today. For over 100 years, women have been speaking out against all means to achieve equality for not only themselves but for women years to come. Throughout the years, fashion has changed immensely. In the 1920s, fashion entered the modern era where both women and men left behind the uncomfortable clothes of the past and welcomed the styles of flapper dresses and men's sportswear. The fabric of choice was silk, satin, and velvet. As we entered the 1930s and the Great Depression, with access to only little amounts of fabric, the style became simple in order to save money and resources. The 1950s was when people really started to feel freedom when it came to dressing. It was also known as a period of transition before fashion would be grouped into an 8 to 10 year span. Polyester, tight-fitted pants, and platform shoes were better known as the 70s. Almost everyone owned a tracksuit or a cowl-neck sweater. The 70s were considered some of the most fun years in fashion. In today's fashion, we have quick trends that come and go. Almost everyone has their own sense of style, whether it be sporty or girly. Some of the most popular looks are the ones we've seen before. The grunge look of the 90s and the retros of the 60s and 70s. We have the freedom of exploring the looks we enjoy no matter what style it may be.
When I was a young child, the world's changed so much. We used to stay out until dark, we played, never had to worry about things. Now, kids nowadays, they're on computers, watching TV. The world has changed so much from back in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I'm out at Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to the Narrow. But I'll be hood forever. I'm the new Sinatra.
Most of us have lived in Clarkston or surrounding area all our lives. We live in a town where we can find a Starbucks on every corner and don't mind paying $5 for a cup of coffee. We live in a town where it's normal to get a new car on our 16th birthday. Some of our biggest problems include how we're going to get to sports practice or who has an iPhone charger. And we live in a town where we don't have to worry about getting an education or how we're going to get food or water that day. We are fortunate to feel safe as we walk down the streets of Clarkston, not scared of the people walking behind us or the cars driving on the roads. But what about when we leave Clarkston, leave Michigan, and even leave the safety and freedom we have within our country? What then? Will you know how to communicate to others? What are their social norms? Will you feel safe? What if one day someone knocked on your door and said you had to leave? The only thing you're allowed to take with you is the clothes you're wearing and the plane ticket they gave you. You're sent to a third world culture where there is no modern technology and everything you've learned in school thus far does not apply. What do? You're going to have to adapt. adapt to their way of living. Learning their language and social normalities is crucial to surviving. Morals have completely changed in ways of going from a modern world where underage drinking and sex is a high school normality, to living a world where knowledge and traditions are passed down from ancestor to ancestor, contrary to what scientists have learned otherwise.
My purpose of life is to help. I've always wanted to be a police officer, and I did for 33 years, to help and protect people. I love helping people because there's a lot of good in this world, and I guess that's my purpose in life, to do what I can for others.
In the past, before the modern era set in, religion was everything, and just about everyone followed a certain religion, whether it be Christianity or Hinduism. They didn't just say they had a religion, they followed it closely and as strictly as they could. Religious customs and traditions were taken very seriously. Although some still practice religion this way, a lot has changed. In our time, with the scientific advances that we have, many people are choosing to completely opt out of religion. Other times, those who are religious don't always practice the way they have in the past. Nowadays, we tend to be busy all the time, and with the little free time that we do have, we choose to spend it relaxing or doing something we enjoy, such as sports or crafts. A lot of the times, religion can get put on the back burner of our lives. We get busy and we forget prior commitments we've made. And for some of us, religion isn't part of our lives at all. We choose to live in the moment, and what happens afterwards, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. However you choose to practice religion, it's up to you and your personal beliefs. You have full control, and only you can make that choice. Throughout history, people have been given choices to make. The choices they made were vastly dependent on their surroundings. Whether it be their religion, knowledge, fashion, or past events in their life, they chose the way they did for a reason. It's choices like these that show when we are and when we aren't conforming.
Being a school teacher pretty much gave me the wherewithal on how to attack a problem. If a student doesn't understand how I'm proposing a solution to their problem, then it's up to me to come at that same problem in a different way, such that if they don't see it in one explanation, maybe they can see it in, say, a verbal or an audio or a written explanation of the problem and stuff. So there's about 5 different ways that students learn, and not everybody learns the same way.
Okay, thank you.